Hey everyone, welcome to today's deep dive analysis. We are jumping straight into a really fascinating and honestly a pretty heavy topic today. We're going to be unpacking a specific spiritual narrative about life after death, specifically focusing on what's described as the very first night in the grave. We're going to break down exactly what this source material is telling us, sticking strictly to the facts and the phrasing presented in the original text. So let's just dive right in and see what this spiritual account is really all about. Right off the bat, the source material hits us with this incredibly direct question. Do you know what the first night in the grave is like? It's not just a casual opening sentence, it's a massive hook. It immediately pulls us right into this mysterious realm that, let's be real, pretty much everyone wonders about at some point. It's a very intentional framing meant to stop you in your tracks, make you think, and basically ensure you're locked in for the rest of the narrative. It's actually a brilliant way to take a really complex, heavy spiritual concept and instantly grab the audience's attention. Okay, so following that initial hook, the sequence of events moves incredibly fast. According to the text, the absolute second the deceased, the mayat, is placed into the grave, that first night just begins. Boom, right then and there. There is zero transition time here, no buffer zone, no waiting period between the end of life and the start of this new reality. The source emphasizes that this transition is completely immediate and totally inevitable. And honestly, that suddenness really dials up the gravity of the whole concept, doesn't it? From there, the description of this night gets stark, really stark. The text calls it a harsh night, one that literally only the person who has passed away can feel. And the kicker? No one can escape it. Absolutely no one. These are incredibly powerful words designed to paint a picture of total, undeniable isolation. We're just looking at the message impartially here, but it's crystal clear that the whole point is to establish just how severe and unavoidable this moment is meant to be. But wait, right after setting up that feeling of total isolation, the narrative shifts gears and introduces two extremely important figures. The text tells us that on this specific day, two angels arrive, and their names are Munkar and Nakir. They are assigned specifically to visit the deceased on this exact day to, well, initiate the next phase. This is a massive turning point in the story. That intense isolation we just talked about, it's over. Now there's a direct encounter. It shows us that this first night isn't just about lying there in some passive state. It's actually the beginning of a highly active, intense spiritual process. So what exactly goes down when Munkar and Nakir show up? Well, they don't just hang out. They immediately start questioning the person about two specific things: their aqaid and their amal. To break that down into everyday terms, they are conducting a rigorous interrogation about the person's faith or beliefs, that's the aqaid, and the actual actions and deeds they performed during their time on Earth, that's the amal. The message is completely unambiguous here. The evaluation of how you lived your life and what you believed starts instantly. It's essentially a high-stakes spiritual exam, and it is the absolute focal point of this entire first night. Now, the results of this interrogation, they are entirely binary. It's literally all or nothing. If the person successfully answers the angel's questions, the text states that the grave forever transforms into a garden of heaven. But, and this is a huge but, if they fail to answer correctly, that exact same space becomes a pit of hell. This contrast is incredibly sharp. It shows with terrifying clarity how a single moment of questioning is believed to dictate the entirety of someone's eternal future. There is absolutely no middle ground presented here. It's either ultimate, everlasting peace or absolute torment. Finally, we reach the conclusion of this source material, and honestly, it is such a fascinating case study in how things work today. The narrative wraps up in a way that creates this wild intersection between a deeply profound spiritual message and the reality of our modern digital world. The creator finishes with a communal prayer, saying, "May Allah save us from the punishment of the grave." But then, literally in the same breath, they drop a direct call to action. Write Ameen and subscribe to the channel. It's wild, right? It really highlights how, in the digital age, incredibly heavy, ancient religious concepts are being utilized to drive engagement and rack up subscribers. It leaves us with a really provocative question to think about. Are these digital platforms actually deepening our understanding of these serious spiritual beliefs? Or have these ancient narratives just become the latest tool for boosting internet metrics? Think about that for a bit. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive today.